I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy F7. Today we got a very special show. I'm super excited about this guest. Honestly, I love his style, and you know he's doing some big things that I'm super excited about. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Who we got on the channel today?
Hi, I'm Jerry Perez. I'm the field director of our Revolution Los Angeles. Thank you for having me on, Ed.
All right, cool. So yeah, just to get started, this is part of my online activist series. My first question is, what's your background in activism?
Sure. So I first got involved with local politics during the 2016 presidential election. What happened was I went to go vote in our Democratic primary here, and my voter status was purged. And I was made from a Democrat into an independent, so I was not allowed to cast my vote for Bernie Sanders during 2016. So that pissed me off. And from there, I said, I'm going to take part and try to correct this problem we have with our democracy. And so I began organizing with Justice Democrats. I became the field director of 4 counties here in LA County, Orange County, Riverside County, and San Bernardino County. And I started training organizing groups, the largest one being around 32 people and the smallest one being around 5.
Okay.
After that, I got hired on to the Allison Hartson campaign as her field director. And we fought against Dianne Feinstein and tried to take her seat from her. Unfortunately, we didn't win that, and the groups broke apart. But we stayed together in the Los Angeles County, and we reorganized as our Revolution Los Angeles.
Okay, I got a quick little follow-up question on that. So when you say you're a field director, right?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Let me just change this over here. Okay. Sorry, just let me move something. Okay. So when you say you're a field director, right? What does that mean? Like, what does a field director, do actually?
Yeah, what does that entail? What are your activities?
So a field director is the one that has most of the responsibilities. My responsibilities are I train brand new organizers. I transition a volunteer into an organizer. So I give them all the skill sets necessary to effectively run organizing meetings, canvassing events, home banking events, tabling / flyering events, and social media blackout operations.
Okay.
I build them up, I give them confidence, and then I help them coordinate and create their events. And then I just hold everyone accountable and ensure they meet their obligations once they commit to hosting events and doing actions.
Okay, so you would report to a state director or a national director?
So right now,
No, back then.
When? Back in the
Back
campaign?
when you were the field director, yeah.
So back when I was a part of the campaign, I reported directly to the campaign manager, and I just let them know what operations we have going on, schedule the operations, and just keep in constant communication.
And that's a national manager or a state manager?
So it's the campaign manager. So that's it's not a state. So for the Allison Hartson campaign, it was one campaign manager for the campaign, and it was in one state. Okay. So yeah, it would be state. That makes sense. But I was responsible for 4 counties. Yeah, so that's how we operated.
Those are big counties too, man. That's like kind of like the heart and soul of California right there, yeah?
Yeah, it was quite an experience. Yeah, a lot of travel.
Awesome. So actually, Lisa's on the line. We can't actually, she's not live on the camera because her charger died. But she's going to be asking the next question. So go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, has your perspective changed from your experiences working with the organization? Meaning that once you started working with our revolution, have you kind of pivoted a little bit to kind of allow for some of the things that you feel didn't work or somehow needed to be tweaked? Or
hell no. So my stance on everything is actually doubled down. What I've experienced organizing for Justice Democrats in our revolution is that the failings of leadership above me, the not providing volunteers with basic needs to actually effectively organize, training, materials, commitment, communication. It's in fact made me double down on what I've been doing and trying to teach volunteers how to effectively become organizers. So I've identified a lot of failings. I've seen a lot of mistrust build up between a national organization and the ground, and I can't tolerate that. So we got involved with MPP, and we're correcting that problem now, and we're actually being transparent, and we're communicating with organizers and training our base, which is what a lot of these groups fail at doing.
Excellent. I'm going to take the next question too. So what do you think are the most productive activities in the organization that you're doing now?
Well, right now, COVID has put a stop to a lot of things, so we've transitioned everything online. So we're kind of working at a limited capacity. But before everything shut down, I want to say the most effective tool that we had was our field organizer certification program, in which we would go out to a college and we would hold a training event where we would train brand new volunteers to become effective organizers. And what it would be is I would hold a class, I do an introduction of what we're doing, and then break everyone up into teams and have them practice a different aspect of organizing, just sort of break them in. And then we would do like a week or two long course in which we would take them out canvassing, phone banking, hosting tabling events, talking with people, and showing them how to effectively organize online with social media. So that was my favorite action to do.
Okay, that's cool.
Love it.
So right now I'm going to actually transition to talking about MPP, right? So MPP, you know, it stands for Movement for People's Party, which is very cool. It's like a new third party that's springing up. How does MPP make decisions?
So right now everything is open discussion. I'm currently talking with a lot of the MPP staff, showing them how we operate, and then seeing how they operate. We're identifying what works, what doesn't work, and kind of putting together a really good comprehensive plan moving forward. There is no one that dictates like how we move forward. It's horizontal leadership. So everyone has a voice. We put forward what's on the table, and once we have an agreement amongst everyone, like, okay, no, that's outstanding, we'll go with that. We just move forward with that. And so, yeah, that's how we operate currently right now.
Okay. So nobody has like any like veto capacity or anything like that. It's just pretty much done by like democratic vote, or like, you know, because not everybody's going to agree 100%. So how do you guys handle that?
No, so right now we're pretty much all on the same page and united in our mission to create a new party. So there hasn't been any conflict as of right now, as I've seen.
Okay.
Well, we've all have been communicating and bringing our ideas to the table. And when I see something that I like, you know, I voice it. I'm like, oh, that's outstanding. I'm going to adopt that, and vice versa.
Okay. So one thing we talked about like before the show was, you know, like about voting and stuff like that, right? There may be like, you know, some people like, you know, if there's a disagreement, they may decide to take a vote, and everybody says, you know, look, I'm part of the organization, I'm going to agree to go with how the votes go. But who has the vote? Is it just who shows up, or is it like, you know, certain organizers, or who gets to vote, and, you know, what's the qualifications there?
So you're talking about like for chapters?
I'm just talking about like so MPP. I think that we said that like you guys are still figuring it out, right? But what do you feel the best way, or like, you know, are they coalescing around a certain idea? Look, they've already done like some big things, right? They've already had like meetings. They've already set up like some of the structure, like as in terms of the horizontal, right? They have like those committees that form like with 2 heads each, right? So like they have like a media division, and they have like an organizing hub, and they have this regenerative health hub, which is pretty cool, right? But when they set these things up, maybe someone said, oh, you know what, I think there should be this other group, or there should be this other hub that I want to set up. Does it have to be approved by anybody, or is it just a vote taken? Or, you know, like if someone wants to create a new hub, how would they go about like making that happen?
Well, I don't think things have gotten to where it's so formal that we need to conduct a vote. I think if things do escalate to that, then, you know, a vote is needed.
Okay.
But as of right now, everyone's been on the same page and like communicating very well. And so it's more of a like, do we all come to agreement? Like, we all love this idea, and then we move forward with the idea. So far there hasn't been any disagreements or different, like I want to say different agendas. So pretty much right now we're all unified in our one objective to create a new party.
Okay.
But yeah, when you have different proposals up, then yeah, the effective way to do that is with a vote. So yeah, that's something that does happen.
Okay, I remember one of the things that you said earlier was, like the way that you can tell if you can trust the organization or not is by the transparency, and if they keep
Yes.
you in the loop. Now, just so you know, the Tulsi campaign had more kind of a what's the word for it, Lisa? Compartmentalization, right? They had some type of they didn't want different regions talking to each other.
Yeah, sometimes they didn't want people talking to each other from the same region.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a kind of hobbling, that was happening internally, and that was very frustrating, especially to people who were kind of hardcore activists who were 2016 Bernie people. Switched over to Tulsi when she decided to run, and were kind of frustrated or in their positions. What do you do, and what are the mechanisms that you have in place to kind of keep that from happening? I know you say you're very transparent, and you seem to be very open as far as your standpoints. But what do you do when you have a problem that you've seen that happens when the hierarchy gets subverted, like you feel that happened in our revolution?
So basically, what I practice is I practice transparency. I am transparent in everything I do. And so by leading by example, I expect you to give me the same transparency. So that way we are openly communicating. This prevents infiltration and trust builds. So
Yeah.
This is how you build a good, strong group, is you establish trust and confidence. From what you described to me, this sounded like a more top-down organization in which they had full positive control over how everything was done, and they kept knowledge out of your reach, essentially. Like they kept certain knowledge from you, which makes you controllable.
Yes.
So what I do is I teach everyone how to do what I do. So in the event that something does happen to me, anyone can pick up the torch and replicate what I am doing.
Yeah. One thing that we talked about earlier that I really liked was that one thing that you do with your people that you're training up is you teach them to grow their own base. You teach them to grow their own contact list. And that's their own kind of, because honestly, anytime that someone interfaces with someone else, that's time for them to interact with that person and build a personal rapport and relationship that they can carry with them to have a more powerful, call to action later on. So I'm completely on board with that. And I think that's something that only ground organizer would truly understand the value of that, which I think is amazing and wonderful.
Yes.
If you come to me and tell me you want to learn something, and you show me you have a passion and you have a willingness to learn, I will teach you.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you want to take a leadership position, if you want to put forth the effort and put forth your time and your dedication to this, I will give you the tools to do that.
Yeah.
I don't see why anyone would go against this. So long as you're being transparent with me, you build trust, and I know your intentions are good, and I see that you are someone that needs this, I'm going to be behind you 150%.
Yeah, but you said earlier, right? Because we talked earlier, and you said our revolution never made any lists available to you, and the same thing was true in the Tulsi campaign. Actually, I had an experience. I'm not sure about Lisa, but they actually tried to prevent me from actually when I was at an event, I'd be like, yeah, let me get your information, let me get your email, let me get your phone number, maybe we could call up later. And I actually was able to recruit 2 high energy members to go to New Hampshire with us. So I was like, look, I'm actually getting benefits from actually outreaching and doing this type of networking. But they try to squash that. Lisa, did they try to squash you from doing that as well?
Yeah, they did. It was very odd. They even were trying to keep certain people from phone banking, which was weird because they switched to a new system and then wouldn't allow certain people to get on it to actually phone bank. It was bizarre.
And Jerry, you said that they didn't share the list with you, but you guys actually had built your own list that was sizable, so you guys were still able to work and make things happen on the ground, right?
Yeah, so we didn't rely on any national organization. We did all of our organizing on our own. And that's something that I teach my organizers, that, they're not going to be providing you with materials, and they're not going to be providing you resources. So we built them ourselves. We became self-sustaining and self-autonomous. So, and then what campaigns need to practice is they're doing that for a reason, and adhering to the law, and also they are ensuring that the information they do collect is not misused. But mainly what I would say is that you live here. The campaigns, they're going to vanish after the campaigns are done. So yes, I do highly recommend that you make your connections and you build your own personal list. And so when the campaigns do vanish, and which they always do,
Yeah.
you're able to keep on the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for doing it.
Yeah. And because, you know, yeah, this list is actually how me and Lisa were able to meet up and make other things happen. I feel like you know, by not building those lists,
Absolutely. Actually, we didn't even do it through
Yeah.
that. We were both on a call trying to, someone who didn't really know what they were doing, trying to teach people how to phone bank. And I was asking, hey, how come we're not doing any text banking? And Ed chimed in, and that's how we connected. And I was, you know, basically kind of guerrilla, cultivating the people through chats. And then they started turning off the chats. So it was weird. But, you know, there's a really amazing, we have a really amazing campaigner out here. And when I told him that I thought that the Tulsi campaign had been infiltrated, he said, all campaigns get infiltrated. So you know, that's basically my biggest concern is what is it that you're doing to kind of keep any kind of infiltration from this disbanding things or causing disruption? You just make sure that everybody's on board with the same idea, or, you know, I understand that you have this sort of decentralization technique where everybody kind of understands and knows, and there's no aggregation of knowledge. Are there any other, you know, are there any other strategies that you use or that you're going to use to keep
the most effective way,
because, you know, the more powerful you all get, and the more and the broader you get, the more that you'll be a target.
Right. And so we are working on legal protections and documentations that people that do get put into leadership positions that will be signing in order to have that safeguard. But also the greatest way to prevent any type of infiltration is open transparency and communication. When someone's coming into your group and they have bad intentions, they always make their intentions known just by what they're trying to do. And the main purpose of an infiltrator is either to take control of what you're doing or derail you from your actions. So then from there, you just identify who's working against your actions, and if it becomes like a repeated offense kind of thing. So what I train is, you know, you go by the 3-strike rule. First time, you're like, okay, you know, it's just a mistake or something. Second time, okay, now you're on my radar, and I'm gonna, you know, start investigating into this. I'm gonna start looking into something and see if this is, you know, either habit, incompetence, or if these are bad intentions. And then the third time around, you know, I have that sit down, we have a talk, and then I start digging. Most of the time in events like that, the infiltrator, they'll realize that they're caught and they'll vanish.
Okay.
So that is one technique I do teach. There are other techniques I teach, but that's something that I only teach from my group.
I don't want to mess with Jerry, man. I'm telling you, man, you're a big guy, man. You know what I mean? Jerry's gonna sit down with you. Oh, man, it sounds serious, man. That's cool, though. I ain't mad at that, yeah? Sometimes you gotta bring that in. All right, so I have another question. I'm gonna let Lisa ask the next 2 questions after that. So the next question is, look, you've been talking to a lot of people about MPP, telling them about the organization. What do you think are the most common misconceptions? And I also want you to present that like from an idea of, there's different people who watch the show. There's people who are Yang Gang. There's people who are Tulsi supporters, mostly Tulsi supporters, honestly. Then you also have people that support Bernie. You have people that are Green Party members, right? So from those different angles, right, like what are the most common misconceptions about MPP? Like, you know, what do you think?
So what I've identified in my observations and with talking with people is that they believe a third-party option is not viable and never win. And the only reason for that is because they've never seen or heard anything about a actual third party actually gaining momentum and actually gaining traction. What you're going to see with us that's going to be different is that you will see chapters pop up all over the place. You will see people acting and moving, and you'll see a physical presence on the ground of MPP people, and eventually whatever this party is called, you're going to see that. You're physically going to see that. You're going to see bumper stickers. You're going to see shirts. You're going to see businesses aligned with us. You're going to see community leaders line with us. You're going to see that momentum. You're going to hear, and just in the coming weeks, you're going to hear groups siding with us and announcing that they're going to be joining in this effort. So that is going to be the main difference between us and them. You're going to be seeing action, not talk.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Seeing.
Yeah, that is wonderful. I'm all about the action. I'm always pushing us to do action. Lisa knows, yeah.
We're all about the action.
I refuse to do anything but action, tell you the truth. Okay. Go ahead, Lisa. I'll let you close out with the last couple of questions here.
Okay, so I feel like you answered some of the other questions. What are your thoughts about the current situation? Because MPP still hasn't, solidified, and so November is not going to be something that or I'm not really sure what you have involved, but November is not going to be something that we can really do anything about as far as injecting a third party right now. What do you feel the people should do, and what are your thoughts about the current situation?
I'm not the kind of person to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not the kind of person to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth, and it's going to be hard to hear. The Democrats have failed. They have let the American people down, and it looks like we're going to get stuck with another 4 years of Trump. Just looking at the performance of Joe Biden this week alone, it's disgraceful. The fact that he would tell the black community, "You ain't black," like that on live TV.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is a damn disgrace. And Trump already took advantage of it. And I imagine, I have full confidence that Joe Biden will further dig a hole for himself and show the world that he's an incompetent leader. So what I say to every person on the ground that is watching this and is seeing that we need to do something, you need to take control, positive control of your situation and create an alternative for you to organize in the future. You need to help create a new party. You need to be a part of that discussion to ensure that this party actually represents you. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party, none of these parties give a damn about you. They're not going to invest time. They're not going to invest resources. They're damn sure not going to listen to you. And they don't want you. Unless you got a large amount of money and you're willing to kiss a lot of ass. So what I say to all of you is, please join our efforts. Become a part of this organization. Become a part of this discussion. And let's fight this enemy together. And
Hell
together
yeah.
we will create a future where America is prosperous again. And we get rid of the crazy out of our politics.
Hell yeah.
And
I like that.
that's what I would say.
Hell yeah.
So I have some questions about kind of timelines where you see yourself, and where do you see the group in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, in a year? Where, what are these sort of like touchstones and milestones for the future for MPP?
So you said 3, 6, and a year?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 3 months, I'm projecting that we're going to have a good amount of chapters in each state. So I've reached out. I'm constantly on the phone. I'm constantly online, and I'm constantly in communication with people and identifying people that want to start their chapters. So in 3 months, we will be everywhere. In 6 months, I imagine our training program will be in full swing. I'll have instructors on the ground. I'll have them trained up, and they'll be out there teaching and getting people confident and effectively getting ready to launch and do their organizing throughout their areas. And then within a year, I imagine we'll be a fully fledged party. We'll be a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to put fear in the hearts of every corrupt individual all across the nation, because they're going to realize, oh shit, they woke up.
I like that, man. Hell yeah.
So that is what I envision, and that is what I am going to be working towards.
Cool. And a year from now? What about a year from now? Like that's 3 months from now, right? But what about a year?
I said a year, so.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just an ongoing like process to just keep building. That makes a lot of sense. So look, the way that people can sign up for the thing is what, peoplesparty.org, right?
Yeah. So for everyone across the nation, go to peoplesparty.org, hit the volunteer, and sign up to volunteer there. You'll get onto our Slack. And then if you're already in an affiliated group and you want to affiliate and make your group a chapter of MPP, go to the affiliation part of the website and sign up there. And then from there, we'll schedule a meeting. We'll talk with you, let you know what we're up to. And then once you feel comfortable, we publicly announce it to the world. And then we generate excitement and everyone's going to freaking know this is real. So yes, that's what I would recommend.
One of the things that brings the most excitement, honestly, is you. You're a high energy individual. You got that kind of presence about you, right? Maybe people want to follow you. Do you have like a Facebook, a Twitter? Like, do you have like a certain social media that you be putting out there? Maybe email people want to contact you directly. Or I know the best way is to honestly do the peoplesparty.org and do it through that way, the official way. Please do that. Please make sure that you put in your thing to the peoplesparty.org. But if people want to follow you, how can they? You have a platform. What's up?
So I would say follow all of MPP's social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and also if you live in California, or if you just want to follow us in the nation, see more of like what I do with my group. It's Our Revolution Los Angeles, and we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram. And if you want to follow my personal doings, I'm on Twitter, and I'm active on Instagram. I have a Facebook, but I don't really use it. I don't really think anybody really does use Facebook nowadays, but mostly I'm most active on Twitter and a little bit on Instagram.
Cool. I'm gonna have all the links below.
What's your Twitter handle? What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is Jerry Perez LA.
Okay.
Okay, great.
All the links will be below.
And so just one more thing. I believe MPP is going to be having a meeting tomorrow, correct? Online?
No, not this week.
Not this week.
No, our next week. Our meeting is next week on Thursday.
Next week on Thursday. So it's on June what?
I believe it's June. One moment. It is June 4th. June 4th.
June 4th. Okay. So it's not. So you don't have a meeting on the 7th. It's on the 4th.
Yes, it's on the 4th.
Okay. And at what time is it?
It's at 5:30 Pacific time.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, man. That was really cool, man. And thanks for coming by. You're an inspiration. Honestly, I memorized that line where you're like, I took it real personal, and I made it my mission to set things right. I love that line. I mean, so I'm sure a lot of people, yeah.
There's something I do say is when the people lead, the leaders will follow.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is once we all stand up and we say we're done playing your game, our elected officials will fall in line.
Absolutely.
So stand with us, and we'll make them fall in line.
Yeah, we have to do our part. I love that, man. That's absolutely true. God bless, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. Thank you all for having me on.
All right.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We
words
are on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos. Make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot. And looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.